Hello, 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 hello. Hello. So I've come on a bit early just to make sure everybody's on ready. So when you're watching, just type in hello so I know who's here today. On a bit early so that I can show you a few little things. Is there anybody there? Got my water. Hello, is anybody there? Hi everyone. Get out and make it straight up. Bum, bum, bum. Hi Bev. How are you today? Is anybody there? Hi Bev. Hi Sarah. How are you? Hi Gaina. So I'm just keeping an eye on the time and then I'll start going at 2 o'clock. Just thought I'd come on early. Yes, not too bad, not too bad. Hi Tina, how are you? So I hope everybody's okay. Again, as we always say, if you could share the video or the live either now or you can share it later so that people can find out about us, and then we can go from there. Hi Dawn. So I know Gavin posted this card on Valley Crafters and Valley Craft and stuff like that, but I just thought I'd show you again here as well. Hi Teresa. Oh, glad you're okay. Hi Liz. Hope you're okay. So this is a card that Gavin made in the week from the Sentimentally Yours box kit thing that we doing on pre-orders. So yeah, so that was the card. So this butterfly die comes in it, this border die comes in it, you get lots of papers and toppers and stuff like that. So, and then he's just used the double-edged deboss squares. Okay, so that was that one. But today I am going to do this one. So my regulars at the classes, when we do have the classes, probably done the technique I'm going to do on the back, but I'm going to show you two techniques to use with your embossing folders. Hi Judith. So yeah, so it's 2 o'clock, so let's make a move. So the folder I've used here is a Fanciful Flowers by Sue Wilson. It's a 3D embossing and I think it's 5x7. Okay, today I'm going to use Fan Palms and I've also got Pebble Rush, but there are other ones as well. Okay, and you can use any embossing folder for this. It doesn't have to be 3D, it can be a standard embossing folder, but with the 3D embossing folder, please make sure you consult what your sandwich should be, because it'll be a thinner sandwich in your machine from your standard ones, from your standard embossing folders. So the first thing I'm going to do for this is I'm going to sort this background out, okay, and I'm going to show you two techniques with that, okay. So I hope everybody's okay, and I'm just going to show you a couple that I've done. So these two were done at the same time, so you've got the minus and the positive, and I'm going to show you that. That's the first one I'm going to show you, and this was the other half to the half I've used on this, so literally using an A5 piece of card for each pattern. And then these ones were embossing, so I'll show you how to do that with them as well, okay. So you can see the shine when I shine that over to the window, just see it shimmering, and that's the copper embossing powder from Phil Martin as well. So the colours I'm going to use today are the pigment based ink pads. You can use dye based ink pads, but don't use your permanent ones because they may stain your embossing folder. These do stain your embossing folders if it's on for too long, but I just use the archival ink cleaner to clean it, and I'll probably have to show you that anyway. It depends on the darkness of the inks you're using. So today I'm using the fan palms. Yeah, they're very nice, very sort of Art Deco, the fans, and they are quite thick actually. They're really deep. Okay, so that's the fan palms. I think everything I'm using is in the link at the bottom of the page anyway. So what I'm doing, this is a piece of super smooth. You can use copy paper, you can use any of the colour stuff we have in Pick and Mix, so you can use all your Pick and Mix stuff. This is 160, but you can use 120, 100 gram, doesn't matter. And the first thing I'm going to do is actually fold that in half. Now I'm going to be cutting this down after to slightly smaller, so just roughly fold it in half, and then that will be our piece ready. So the next thing I would suggest is actually having a craft mat or an inky mat or something like that, just in case your brayer comes off the ink pad or off the mat, and then it's going to go on your mat instead of onto your table. Okay, and that's the card we're going to do today, but I'm going to use two different colours. So the first thing is to open up your folder. Okay, now it's up to you whether you want to go diagonal with your colours or whether you want to go straight. I want to go straight that way because I want to get the two-tone colours sort of down half and half. So as per the sample card, it's sort of got a yellow there and a sort of purpley lilac there. Okay. So if you've got any questions, don't be afraid to ask, and we'll answer as much as we can. So the first thing I'm going to do is take my yellow ink pad. I'm just wondering which way do I want the yellow. I think I'm going to put the yellow to the left this side. I'm going to put the blue on that side. Now you could ink up one pad at a time, that is entirely up to you, okay? So what, if you do, you just go on to your lighter colour first, and you can ink up half of your brayer. Now I don't want to take any of that colour off, so what I'm going to do now is just come to the other end of that ink pad. I'm going to put a little bit of blue on there. So I'm just rolling it on the roller. I'm just making sure it's got a good coverage. I know that's not quite done, but that's not going to matter because I'll show you what we're going to do with that now. So just being careful not to get any of the colours on any of the ink pads. Now if you want to do them together, you just put your ink pads close together and you just spray it up and down like that, and don't worry about the centre bit. Afternoon, Helen. So that is now, so the colours I've actually used is Parakeet and Honey Pot. Okay, so that's parakeet and honey pot, and that is the opaque pigments, which is similar to distress oxides. It's a pigment ink. So then I'm going to take my folder, and it doesn't matter which way you've got this at the moment, okay, because we're going to be doing both sides. And that's all I'm going to do is start with my yellow and my blue like that. I'm going to come across the top, and I'm not pushing too hard with the brayer, okay. I'm just gently leaving it roll, and then what I'm going to do, I'm going to come across, and because I'm then mixing a bit of the blue and the yellow, I'm getting a third colour in the middle, okay. So again, across there, and you'll find with the 3D embossing folders, you'd have to push really hard to go through the back. So there we are. So that is now inked up, and then what we do, we take our piece of card, we gently place it into the crease and fold that over. So this is the folded piece of A4. Yeah, it is a really gorgeous colour, the parakeet. Now I'm using a grand caliber today, so that's all it is with the grand caliber. With the 3D is I take the grey baseboard, I take my rubber mat, and I take, this is one of the extra shims you can buy, and I'm just going to use that one. So it's usually a purple one, and then you've got the white one. It's the white one, obviously, I'm using today, and I'm putting that through. That's okay, Alison, no problem. So I'm just putting that through. Sometimes the first initial roll of it, let's get it to go, is usually quite difficult. If you are finding it's really hard, then it could be that that embossing folder is just a little bit too thick. So what I would do is just take that mat out and try it without. And as long as you're getting some sort of push with it, so I'm going to check that now. Just got to lift that open a little bit. Not quite enough pressure. So what I need to do is just take a couple of pieces of paper, put that white mat on. The floral one was the actual rubber mat, the grey mat and that white mat, and it was fine. But obviously this fan one was just a little bit thicker. Different design, slightly different look. Marvellous. So now I have that on the one side, and I know I've got monkey, but I'm not using that all anyway. And then the back, it's got that lovely colour. Okay, so you can see then when I open it up as well, it's got the positive and the minus. Okay, so, and you could use that just as a normal background, put a little strip through the middle, and then you've got a backing for an 8x8 card as well. So while I'm there, I'm just going to take another piece of thin paper. So this is 160 I'm using, and if you've got lots of ink on your folder like that, you can then do a second pull by just taking your folder, taking a spritzer bottle, so like a fine mister one, just fine mist it, pop your card back on, close it, put your bits of paper on top because we know that's for the sandwich, and put it back through. And this time we'll get the same sort of colours, but they'll look more like a watercolour background. Okay, so there's these scraps of paper, just to give it that extra little oomph that we needed. And you can see then that we get sort of, it's more of a mottled and a finer sort of pattern. So you can see the top one is the original and the second one is more of a watercolour. Okay, so not as bright but still there. So just so you're not wasting your ink. Okay. And then with your folder, spritz it with water, take a cloth or an old tea towel, give it a wipe or go and run it under the tap. I'm just going to give it a wipe with a cloth for now, and then I'll give it a clean a bit later. And that's come all off this time. Okay, so that's fine, so I can pop that to the side. The other way of actually doing anything like this is by, so I'll take the watercolour one I did, is inking up your brayer as you did, taking your card, just fold it, pop it through your folder and then turn it to the back end and just take your brayer and go across the back. Okay, so there's your negative, and I'm not pushing down at all, I'm just leaving the brayer do its own thing. So that is using it the other way. So you can see then it's not as dark, so that is not as dark as that, and you get the colours blend into each other more. So it's a good way of using your inks, and you can mix any colour inks, you can go at an angle so you get a better, so your inks go across and you get colours that way. And even if you just wanted a very light colour, you can take your brayer again and just go across the one side and do it so it's really, really pale. And you just get that very, very paleness then. Okay? So that is one technique with a folder. Straight away after doing your ink, spritzing the folder with a little bit of water and then putting it back through again, and you get more of a wash. Then you can just put your paper through with an embossing folder and then just ink up your brayer and just go over the paper with your brayer. Okay, so that's sort of 3 techniques in all over there. So that can stay there to dry now to the side. And to clean your brayer, wash it under the sink. Take ink, wash it off. And you can see that the ink does stain a little bit because it's a pigment based ink. So you can see it's still a bit of green on there. But again, archival ink cleaner. So you put your archival ink cleaner over the top, spritz it with water and then wipe it again. And you can see that it comes right off. So the only one you'd have problems with is if you used a StazOn with your brayer, because the alcohol within it would actually dry it to the roller really, really solidly, and then you can start sort of eroding the rubber of the roller. Okay, so I've now done that bit, but there's another technique I would like to show you as well. Oh, I'm glad you like that technique. It's a nice way of getting colour on your embossing folders and doing your own backgrounds. So it's nice and easy doing it that way. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in a watermark. So a watermarking pad is a clear ink pad that you use for your embossing powders. So you tend to use it with your stamps. You ink up your stamps and then you just put your, you ink up your stamps, you put your embossing powder on and then you just heat it and it goes to metal. But what we're going to do today is I'm going to take that same folder that I just had, okay, and the brayer. Now, bit of a difference with this one. When you look at your folder and feel your folder, one side will be smoother to the hand because everything, all the dips go downwards, okay? And on that side, I prefer to just take the Versamark directly to it. So what I do, I just tap it just very gently across the top of it. So I'm just tapping, I'm not pushing down, just tapping and tapping and tapping, just going up and down about 3 times. So I've gone up once, down once, and I've gone back again. And then you can either do the same on the side, but you'd have to be careful, or you can take your brayer again and then get the brayer with it and then just do the second side. And the reason we use the brayer for the second side is because it's raised up. If we push down on that too hard, then it's all going to go onto the background, which is the flat area of the folder, and we don't want that, or the embossing folder will just take to it all, okay? And again, we take a piece of paper again. There we go. I'll just cut that down. Okay, so I've got this. So I've got 2 A5 pieces. I'll just cut it in half. I'll place that on the one side, push that over, take my mat, my scrap pieces of paper, because I know that's where I needed to get the depth, and my white shim plate. And I pop that through. Okay, so that's that, take that off. That's been, so this will need to be washed now. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to turn them over, going to do the side that's more flat and the indents are going down. I guess that's all right. Let's have a look. If I can't remember what side it is. Thank you, Gavin. Just pour a bit on. If it doesn't take to it, then you can see, yeah, that's it. And I can show you the difference on how it takes as well when you use your brayer. So that then I've taken to that, but it's more speckly, whereas the other side should be more solid because we actually tap the pad on a bit more. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to pop that powder back into the pot. And sometimes when you've got a full pot, it tends to fill a bit more. You empty it and then it ends up looking fuller than it did in the first place. And then because we haven't stamped this on, means we need to heat it from underneath. Yeah, you'll have to try it, Elizabeth. So that's all I'm doing now, is just getting the heat gun hot. Thank you. Cam's just washed my mat for me. And that's all I'm doing, is just going to heat this from underneath. I'm just going to watch out as the powder turns glossy. If you come to the top, you can do it from the top. Sometimes it does blow some of the powder away, so you just have to be careful of that. If you've got a very soft embossing heat gun, then it won't blow so much away. And most of the time I tend to heat from the top when I'm stamping, and when I'm using a glittery one I tend to heat it from underneath so it doesn't blow too much of the glitter away. This has got a little bit of a sparkle to it, so we'll try and show you in a minute. A lot of people don't like heating from underneath because they have a tendency to burn the paper. And then if you overheat, the powder also has a tendency to lose its shine. And that is usually the problem. Sometimes some people overheat, so it becomes shiny and then it actually loses its shine straight after. So that's that one. Probably won't see the shine too much on that one. But as I start heating this one, you will see it a lot better. I'm just trying to get that in, it's a shot. You can also see it goes darker as well. So if I show you that, there. That piece there is actually gone a lot darker. And you can actually see that when you put it in the light as you're heating. That's when you know your glittery embossing powders are actually heated. Again, you can heat from the top. Like I said, it might blow a bit more of the glitter away from the embossing, which is what it does. Okay, just be careful of that. Try your gun on there. If it blows away too much, then just go back to the bottom and heat it from the bottom. I'm just going slowly along the bottom now. I'm watching it turn as I'm going. Just make sure you don't burn your fingers. Okay, it's almost done. And then once you've done that, once you've sort of set it quickly on the back, then come to the front and just quickly go over, and if there's any little bits you've missed embossing, then going from the front quickly will actually set that last little bit. Okay, so then you can see, if I turn the light on there as well, you might be able to see it just shining a bit in that light. Yeah, so you can just see that all nice and shiny in that light there, and you've got that on there as well. Yeah, that's got to definitely be for Christmas. Yes. You know me and Christmas. Okay, so that's used in your embossing folders. But again, if you don't like putting the Versamark on your embossing folders, put your card through ink up your brayer with Versamark and go across the card, and then add your powder. Okay, and then you'll actually get, depending on whether you've got the embossed or debossed, that's the difference on what you get in the pattern. Okay, so that is that. So that's our sort of 3 techniques to use with embossing folders, and there's probably more. You can go direct, so you can go direct with your ink directly onto your folder as well, but you've got to make sure you don't push too much on there. Okay, so that is that. So I'll pop that to the side, and that means our other piece now have actually dried a bit more. So I'll just put that to the back. Now there is a little bit of glitter still on this from the embossing powder. So I'll just move that there. And it's all covered in that now, but I've actually finished with all the ink in pieces now, for now, so I'll just pop that to the side and I can clean that off later. Just get rid of the glitter. Dun, dun. Okay, out of the way. Right, so our next part is to bring in my pieces, and I'm going to go with the, what did I use? On this one I actually used the raised side, so the fans are raised like the flowers are there. So on this one, on my one I'm going to make today, I'm going to use the opposite one. So I'm going to use the negative space. Okay, so I'm going to use that today. So when you think, from inking up the embossing folder, I've actually got 4 of these 6x6 cards. So that would just get the desk vacuum. Yeah. Not sure if it's good enough for the finer glitters. I'm not sure. I could try it. Yeah, not too bad actually. Just picking it up. Not all of it, but it is picking most of it up. There we are. I think once the brush is way down a bit more, I think it picks up a bit more. Can you order a Gavin to clean up for you? Oh, he does that. He's got enough for that for me, I think. Right, so what I'm now going to do is bring in a trimmer, and I'm going to start by cutting all my little panels down. Okay, so my little panels, I've chosen my colours already. I've chosen a nice teal piece of card, which will go lovely with my colour there. So that brings out this colour. Okay. I've then got black. So the teal is going to be instead of the yellow on my base card. The black is going to be the black that I have on this card, and then I've got my background here, and I'm also going to cut this lovely butterfly twice. I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with that as well. Okay, so the first thing I need to do is to cut my teal piece of card. There's a little spot on there, but I can cover that. And my teal piece of card, so I'm going to put this bit here now so you can see it all the time. So my teal piece of card I need to cut to 14.5 centimeters. By 14.5 centimeters. Keep the little piece here because that will come in handy for your other 2 pieces that you need. And then the other half a sheet will actually come for another card. So again, because I'm going to have those 2 from it, one sheet of A4 will actually do the both. Okay, so it's a good card saving card as well, because I hate waste, really do hate waste. So if you can use up that and use the same piece of card, then it's all good and proper. So the teal was 14.5 by 14.5. The black I'm actually going to cut to 13.5 by 13.5. So first 13.5. Again, the other half will come for something later. By 13.5. This will come in handy to go with this. So there's my 13.5 by 13.5, which gives you more of a colour border with that piece of card. And then I need to cut my piece of this down. Okay, so what the first thing I'm going to do, because I know I've got a straight edge here where the folder was, I'm going to pop that into my trimmer and cut that along there, just to straighten that area out there. I'm going to cut that bit down the middle, so that is then separate. So this was the edge I just cut. So if I put this edge in now, because I've already cut that edge, it means it's going to cut square. Okay, so I just come to the top, make sure it's just hanging over, and cut that so it gives me a straight edge, because if I didn't, it would have been at a wonk. So you should always put the straight edge you've cut first in, and then straighten up the second half, and then turn that around, and we're going to cut that to 13 centimeters, which then takes off that unusual shape, and then turn it around and then finish the fourth end at 13 centimeters. And we're actually going to be using a piece of that as well. Okay, but I now have my 13 by 13 square piece. This is the X-Cut version, but we actually do the Crafter's Companion, and it's basically the same. It's just this arm comes off, whereas Crafter's Companion one, you push the arm down and pull it out, and then it clicks back in. So they're all the same sort of size, all the same workings. I think they're on our website. But I think Gavin will have a look for you, Becky, and have a look for that for you. I am loving the guillotine at the moment, to be honest with you, because my other trimmers have stopped working because they're the old woodware ones. So that is going to go on there. Okay, so that's my panel as per that. So then we have things to do with this. So the one thing you can do, instead of using black for the border going across, you could use a teal. So you can have a teal border going across, or you can go with black. Now black will make everything stand out a bit more. Okay, so what I'm going to do, this panel here, the black is 3 centimeters wide. So I'm just popping that in and cutting it to 3 centimeters. Okay, and it's already the size that we need it to be, lengthwise. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this little piece here, which have come off the bottom of here, and I'm going to cut that to 2.5 centimeters, which is about an inch. 2.5 centimeters. Yeah, 2.5 centimeters, and that will actually fit in the middle of there. Okay, so now I've still got that little bit to have a border on something else, and I've got a bit of black now for my sentiment piece there. Okay, so literally I'm using an A5 piece of black an A5 piece of teal, and literally I've used an A5 piece of the white, the thin white. Thank you, Gavin. So if you just click that link, Becky, and then that Gavin's just posted, and then it'll take you straight to the website to that product. So now what I have is a 300-gram piece of super smooth, or if you've got a 6x6 card, then already with the envelopes, then you can do a 6x6 card. This is how you would make a 6x6 card out of an A4 piece. So the first thing you do is you take your trimmer, your scoreboard. This could be the long Crafter's Companion one, it could be any of the scoreboards, and I'm using it on the centimetre side. And as you can see, A4 is just shy of 30 centimetres. So what I do, I always push it all the way to the left, so it's right to the left hand edge, all the way to the top, and then I score at 15 centimetres. So basically I completely ignore that it's not up to the 30 there. And then because the score mark I've just done is pushing down, I push the two sides down. Okay, so the score mark is pushing down, and I push the two sides down so that the folds upwards that way. And then I'm going to fold that in half. And because we know that was folded at 15 centimetres, if I pop it into my trimmer now and bring it to 15 centimetres and cut that, that is now a 6x6 card. And then the white that's come off the bottom of there, which would have been an A5 card, will come for the sentiment to be stamped on. No problem, Becky. Thank you, Gavin. So let's start assembling the card a little bit now. So you can use any of the glues that you wish. So we either use the all-purpose Clal or the high-tack all-purpose original. So it's original. So I think on our website it says original gold, but it's, as long as it says the original high-tack, that's the one. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to take my layers, I'm going to take my teal, place that to the centre. So if anybody has any questions, please don't be afraid, and we'll try and answer them for you. Then I'm using the black, and this black is only 170 grams, so and in fact if I thought about it, I could have cut the butterfly die from the centre of this before I stuck it down, and then I wouldn't have wasted that piece of black in the middle either. Okay, so if you want to save your card a bit more, cut your butterfly from the centre of that first, because the rest of it's going to be covered by that anyway, so you won't see where you've cut it out. Okay, but I didn't think of that one. Then I'm going to take my piece that I inked through my folder, I'll pop that on. And that's all you have to do, is make sure that your piece of card is actually dry if it's the water, if it's the one you spritzed with your water. So that is that. So the fans are lovely. I really do like the fans. Okay, so that's all looking nice. I'm going to take my strip of black, which was the strip of black that came from the bottom of that. I'm going to place it just a little bit higher than halfway. I'm going to make sure this one is straight because Gavin said this one was wonky. Did you, Gavin? You said that one was wonky. I was on a wonky day yesterday when I done it, so yeah, so that's that one. Then I'm going to take my little strip. Now I could put the fan on upside down on that one, or I could leave it the right way up. But because it'll match, and in fact exactly where I put it there, it sort of matches the fans that's already there. So that's what I'm going to do. So that's worth thinking about as well. You can put it where it matches the pattern. I'm actually putting the edge in line with that side, and it'll actually fall in line with the other side. So it actually looks like we've got 3 panels on there instead of just 2. Okay, so that's that. Actually, it does look like it's all running through the pattern. So that was a lucky accident. So the next part I need to do is to cut the butterfly. So this could be any butterfly die at all. I know we've got some butterfly dies, I think they're on the link. This is from the Phil Martin big box set that they've just brought out. Sentimentally Yours, which we're doing on pre-order. It is $99.99, which is a saving of £25, and that's already on the saving of what it would have cost you anyway. Okay, so this is a lovely butterfly. So with this butterfly, I need to cut it. I want to cut it in a bit of black. So I've got a spare bit of black here, which I use for cutting the odd bits out. Just going to place it on where I know it'll go, so I can utilize the least amount. Oh dear, is it? Oh well, there we are then. So what Gavin's just said is I just pulled the bottom off and it's already opened up the top to take it out. So because Gavin will probably put that in a folder or something at a later date. So that's why I'm being called silly. In Wales we say silly Billy. So that's all I'm doing is taking the black and cutting that with my grand caliber. So you could do this with any of your cutting machines, as long as your butterfly will fit through them. And if you've got a butterfly die, so you could even put a big flower there as well. If you've got a kite die or balloon die, or you could even put a little figure there, a little girl or a little boy. You know, we've all got stamps and things that we can stamp and cut out. So this folder, this die has got lots of hearts that pop out. It's a very decorative butterfly. And then I'm just going to find one of the holes that is a release hole. Haha. So all the little dotty ones are release holes. Just pushing that through. Okay, so there's debossed dots around the edge of the wing. But I need to take out all the die cut dots. and the hearts. That will come out, and they come out really easy actually. So it's a good dye, good quality dye. Okay, so that's a lovely butterfly there, nice and intricate. Let's clear the bits that's still in the dye. So I have got a dye brush, so I could rub that over the top, but that's over on the other table, so I'll just poke them out quickly. So I'm not sure, Teresa, I think you can order it online, but if not, I'm sure Gavin will sort that out. Are you taking this, Gavin? It's a compendium box. It's got papers, dyes, stamps, all sorts of things in there for $99.99. So it is a really good deal actually. Okay, so that's that. So I've cut it in black, but as you can see on this card, I've actually cut it in another colour, and it's actually just white card. So whether you have the colour you want doesn't matter, as long as you've got a piece of white that you can cut it out of. And look at that, that bit that's come off the card, that I cut off the base card, it's wide enough to take that butterfly, so it just shows you're not wasting too much of your card then. So even though you've cut that off, it's not a problem. Literally just edge to edge, put that on. Make sure it's just peeking on the edges, stamp that down and cut that one out. As you can tell, that's just one way through the die cutting machine, and it's all cut nicely, so no bits left. Yeah, so if anybody else is thinking they might want a compendium box, they have got to be ordered, so if you would like one, and I can actually show you all at the end of this live what's actually in there. So if you do want one, just let me know, let us know, either now or at the end when I show you, so that we can make sure we order them in, because we're not ordering any for stock, literally just ordering for when people want it. Okay, so I'm just going to push that one out. There we are. So here's my white one. All my little bits are out of there. Right. And these little hearts can all be, that come off there, can all be kept as confetti or to put in a shaker card. I'm just going to pop them there for now. So again, with the butterfly as well, I actually did add a little bit of colour to it on my last one, so I completely coloured it, but on this one I'm just going to add a little bit of colour, and I think the colour I'm going to add to it, I think I want it to be a little bit more fresher, so I think what I'll do, I'll add a little bit of the honey pot to the edge of it. So you could actually take your honey pot and take a brush or something like that, okay, and that's all I'm going to do. I'm just going to take my ink I'm just edging the outer edge. I think the price is different if it needs to be posted out. It's a little bit different to cover the cost of the postage because it's quite a heavy parcel. But even with the 115, it's a really good deal. So what I've done, I've just literally just done the edges of the wings in the yellow, in the honey pot yellow. I'm just going to take my cloth and just give it a little wipe just in case there's too much ink on it. So now I have a yellow tipped wings and a black butterfly. But the one thing I don't like, and I don't think Phil Martin likes it either, is when you end up with two lots of antennae. Okay, so what you got to do is decide which colour antenna you want. So on this one I kept it to the white and I coloured them, but because I want them to stand out a bit more on this one, I'm actually going to cut the white ones off and leave the black ones standing out. Okay, so literally just take your scissors in and snip them off. Okay, so that's the white antennae, and then when we pop that just off centre on the front of there, you'll see that we've got the little black antennae just poking through. Okay, so that'll look lovely then. So to fix that now we need to take, this is where I'll use my high tack because it'll dry a lot quicker. I'm going to place a little beading of glue just on the centre of the body. Take the next butterfly and just dropping it down slightly so that it's got like a nice little border. So I'm offsetting it. And then we end up with that nice little, so if I put that on there you'll see that then. So that adds a nice little decoration to that. So it makes it stand out just a little bit more. Okay. And then I want to shape it. So you can take something round like a pencil and shape that around. And then what I do, I pinch either side of the body and lift up. So I'm actually giving it proper shape. And you can separate the black and the colour side. Or you could just use your fingers, do that, shape it, push that up, put my nail there, push it up, and then you can separate the two. You could even shape one different to the other one as well. Okay, so that's that. So now we've got a nice three-dimensional butterfly that's got a nice little black sort of outer lining. Okay, so what I'm going to do, yeah, that's lovely. I wanted to bring up the yellow a little bit more. So what I'm going to do now is just put a little bit right. I think because of all the new rules of sending stuff out, I think, is that why, Gav? Because we had trouble trying to send something out the other day, didn't we, to Ireland? Okay, so there's my butterfly there. But I also need to add some gems. I think what I'm going to use, some pearls. I've got all sorts of different pearls in this. But I'm going to still use my little white ones, I think. Yeah. Still going to use my little white ones for the body. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And a little tip, if your pearls are not up the right way and you're trying to turn them over, just take your pencil and run back and forth either side of them and they'll eventually flip over. There we are. So they're all up the right way, which makes it easier then for working with. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to take this bit of this glue, dab in a little bead of it all through the middle. You can see there's a nice little line of them there. Using my sticky pencil, there is a pickup tool which is also on the other side, but this was with the gems, so I'm just going to use this one for now. This is one I've had for years, but we do the one for Phil Martin for Sentimentally Yours at the moment, which is a wax end one. And also we do have pots of pearls in different sizes in the pot, different colours, which come with a smaller sticky pencil like this as well. So there we are. So we've got some nice pearls down the body, but because of the black, I still want to put some black pearls along there just to bring out more of the black. And you should always use odd numbers. Should always use odd numbers. So I'm just going to use 3 of those. Just centralising where I need them. And put my 3 dots of glue and then use my pencil. So that is the butterfly there. Where have I put my lid for my glue? Ah, there it is. So as long as you keep your bung on the top of the glue, it won't go dry in the pot at all. And then the last thing I need to do to finish this off is to actually do my little sentiment. And literally I have a set of sentiments here. Aha, found it. So this is a stamp pocket, or a die pocket it used to be. I've just cut the holes off. I've put 2 pieces of acetate that will fit inside there and a piece of paper that will fit in there, and then I've gone through all my stamps that I had on magazines and stuff like that, or the odd ones, and I've actually placed all my happy birthday ones in there. So sending birthday wishes, happy birthday. So I set them up on my press to impress on the paper, and then lift all the stamps up and then ink them all in one go, and then I know exactly where all my stamps are. Okay, so this is just one sheet of happy birthday stamps, but I quite like, yes, I quite like, well, that one there. Yes, we'll put a bigger happy birthday on this one, and I can show you how to do this. So I'm just going to take that stamp from there. I'm going to take an acrylic block. Could use my press to impress, but I will use Can't seem to say that today. I keep saying place. Okay. Yeah, it is a good idea. I've done hundreds of those pockets now. And then the magnets the magnets that come out of those magnetic shims, then I actually use them on a laminating pocket I use in my die storage folders, which I actually make myself as well. Which there is a class online for that, a little group. So I've now got my happy birthday there. So if I bring my trimmer in, again, just push that aside a minute. I'm going to cut this a little bit bigger than where the word is. So I've got more of a gap on the side and cut that off. So I think that was 10 centimeters. And I'm just centralizing this, which I think was 3.5 centimeters. So that's 3.5 centimeters. 3.5 centimeters by 10, I think that was. Yep. So the black that I had left, I can cut to 4 centimeters, which is 0.5 centimeter more than the sentiment itself. And then I'm not going to cut it down yet, because what I want to do with this is I want to, on this corner, I want to come down in the center and cut down, and then I want to cut from the point there to where I've cut down, which means that corner will drop off. And then that there. Okay. And then when that is on there, like that, if I cut just a little bit further up from there, and then cut down the center to there, then I should be able to go from the point to the center there, and from the point to the center there. Let's get from the point. Okay. I just need to clean that up a little bit as well. Just make it straighter. There we are. That's that and that. And if you push them up to each other, then if you turn it over, you can see there's just a little bit of white showing. So cut that white. Then when you push that back, they'll actually match perfectly. Okay. I'm not sure if that's too big for that now. What do you think? Do you think that's a bit too big? I could take it right to the end. Do you think that's too big, everyone? Top right. Top right. That one going to top right. What's in the top right? Did you want the butterfly or the top right? I'm going to put that there, I think. Okie doke, I'm going to stick with that one there. You think it's too big? I don't know. I think I'm sort of half and half on it. Only a little hun. Big is beautiful. Yeah, that's what they say about me, but I don't believe them. So I'm going to make it a feature of the card. I'm actually going to put it right on the corner there. So it's in line with that, but I'm going to make sure it's right there. No, put it right over there, right in the corner like that. Yeah. And it's up to you now whether you want to put this on foam pads or not as well. So I've got a few here. I'm just going to go 1, 2, 3. I'll stick with the big one just so it's a bit different because I've got so many of these backgrounds now that I've got another 12 to make. Anyway. Yeah, I think down in that corner there. So as long as it's in there, yeah, I think so. So it's in line with the teal, but it's just in the corner. Yeah, that's better. There we are. So small sentiment, butterflies down a little bit more and just using different colours. And with the butterfly here, I've actually taken the ink pad, the purple ink pad, and rubbed it all over the butterfly. Whereas with this one I've just rubbed the ink just on the edge of the wings. And I've cut one of the antennae off of the top white so that the black ones show through. Whereas with that one, it's only the purpley ones that are there. Okay, so that's that. So would you like to all see, so that's that. So thank you very much for watching that. But would you all like to see what's in the compendium again? Because I know Gavin did sort of give a quick glimpse of this last time. But I can show you what's in it again. Oh, thank you, Beth. Thank you, Leslie. Thank you, Judith. Thank you, Teresa. Yeah, I like them. And they're nice as well because they're not too large. And even in the post, the butterflies might get squashed a little bit, but because of the pearls, they will sort of keep some lift. So, compendium box. So the compendium box, obviously, is a box. Thank you, Dawn. Thank you, Elizabeth. Thank you, Leslie. They are very nice cards. So, Sentimentally Yours, Compendium Box 1. So I think he's looking to maybe bring out a few more throughout the year, but I don't think it'll be too many throughout the year. So, again, Sentimentally Yours by Phil Martin. It's magnetic, so the clasp on the side is magnetic. And there's two little round magnetic clasps there. And if I open that now, so first things first, you get your butterfly. Okay, thank you, Alison. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you, Tina. So you get your butterfly, and I know some of you have already got this. You get a border, which is almost A5 long, so high as A5. So with your matte layer, it'll actually fit onto your matte layer onto an A5. So that's got a nice little scallop edge. You have a Papillion Paradise Medley stamp, which is A6. And it's got New York, Eiffel Tower, butterflies, clocks and everything like that. So very, very nice. Then got an A5 set of stamps, and the swirls on these are lovely. It's just so very pretty. On your birthday, birthday wishes with love, just for you, someone special, best wishes and happy birthday. Now there's nothing to say that if you're very careful you can actually separate your happy and your birthday. Okay, so you can mix things up. Okay. But then you've got birthday wishes, so and it's got little butterflies, some hearts, and it's even got some little dots here like butterfly sort of sprinkles. Yeah, it is lovely, isn't it, Tina? You then get a stencil, which is butterflies and diamonds, and that's quite nice. So you can put your 3D texture paste with it. You can actually emboss it in your machine as well and use it as an embossing folder, so you could spray your inks over these and put your card on there. You get 2 thick grey board cuts, which are swirls, and then lots of different size butterflies. So you just pop them out, you can colour them, paint them, whatever you want. Then you get 2 embossing folders. So these are 5x7 embossing folders. So you've got the swirls that match the cardboard swirls there, and you've also got lots of different butterflies which will match the other butterflies. Okay, so that is lovely. So you get the 2 of them. You then get some sprinkles, and I think this is the only way you will get that colour sprinkles. I don't think he's actually doing that any other way. So that's the only way you'll get them, is in this kit. And you also get a twinkling embossing powder Cosmic Rose Gold. So that's lovely. And with any twinkling powder, you need to make sure you mix in your glitter with your embossing powder, because the glitter's heavier. You then get some A5 envelopes. And your A5 cards, which have been scored ready for you to fold. You get your, I think these are 7, I think they're 7x7, I think. Yeah, they're the 7x7, yeah, I think they're 7x7. So I think you get 7x7 envelopes and 7x7 cards that are already folded and scored for you. You then get a pack of Papillion Paradise watercolour accent papers. So it's like an A4 sheets, and it looks like it's got like a watercolour sprinklings over them. You also get some papers, and in each of these packs I think there is 24 A4 sheets. So you get 24 A4 sheets, and they're on 190 gram as well. So you get 24 A sheets in here. As you can see, it's one of these papers Gavin have used on, I think is that one there. That's the one Gavin's used on here. Okay. Then you get lots more stuff. You get some tags, borders and hearts, and some little buttons. Then you get buttons, sentiments, and it's the little sentiment from that middle there that Gavin used on that butterfly card as well. And then you get let's get this card at the bottom. You get all these sheets of colour card. Okay, and I think it's four of each colour, I think. So I think it's about 32 sheets, I think. 4, 8, 12, 16. 4, 8, 12, 16, 32. So we have 32 sheets. Okay. And the good thing about the box is if you don't want to use it for your compendium, once you start using it, or separate them all out to different places, although it's perfect to keep on your shelf like that, because then you know exactly what's in there. But you can even use it then for storing some of your stuff in after you finish with the compendium box, and until then it actually folds down flat so you can actually put it away in a cupboard safe until you're ready to use it. Okay, so it literally just pops up like that, and then the magnetic there. So let's go back in the box. All the colour card, 2 sheets of toppers and wordings and buttons and stuff like that, 24 A4 sheets of backing papers, some more watercolour backing papers, so they already got a watercolour theme to it. Then got your A5 cards, your A5 envelopes, your 7x7 cards and envelopes, your embossing powder and your sprinkles, pink frosting sprinkles, 2 embossing folders, 5x7, 2 cardboard, thick cardboard cutout, die cut things, a stencil, butterfly and diamond stencil, set of sentiment stamps, so that's an A5 set, an A6 clear stamp set, which is a Paradise medley stamp, and Phil's well known for his medley stamps now, a border die which have got nice little scallops on the end, and the butterfly die, which is a fair size butterfly, to be honest with you. You know, it's as wide as my hand, so it's almost the palm of my hand, to be honest with you. Okay, so that is that. So that is a compendium box. So there we are. So that's the compendium box, and I'd just like to say thank you again. The only way you get those sentiments, Jill, is actually from buying the compendium. Don't think he actually does them separately. This is literally all that comes in the compendium, but if Gavin can get them separately, he'll let you know now. But thank you very much for watching. That is the 2 cards, and you can see they are quite different from the colour of the butterflies. Like I say, you could put a nice big flower in that card, make it a bit different, put a nice little image in there, little boy, little girl. Okay, so thank you very much for watching. Thank you for supporting Valley Craft, and hopefully by the end of next month, or middle of next month, we may be able to open the shop so people can come in and browse again and have a look what we've got, because we've got so much stuff in stock now. It's crazy. Only available in the compendium. Ah, right, yes. So Jill, that sentiment stamps is only available in the compendium box. That's okay, Judith. Thank you. Glad you enjoyed it. That's okay, Leslie. Glad you enjoyed. Hope you got some nice weather up in Ireland, I think you said it was. And just keep watching, and if you need more inspiration, all our videos from our lives are actually on our YouTube, or you can watch them through our live area from our website or from our Facebook page as well. So don't miss a video. I think this is number 54 of videos now that we've done today. Okay, so thank you very much, everybody. Have a good weekend. Love to you all. Bye.